Welcome back to ASVAB Roadmap. Today, we're going to talk about the least common multiple. Let's get started. As we begin to learn more about numbers, there are certain ways to compare two numbers. One concept we must learn is that of a multiple. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. So these are examples of multiples of 3. They are the numbers you get when you multiply 3 by all of the positive integers, and the list is infinite. So what if we compare 3 and 4? We might want to know the smallest number in both of these lists. We would call this the least common multiple, because it is the smallest number that is common to both numbers. In this case, that's 12. What about 4 and 5? That would be 20. As we can see, the least common multiple is simply the product of the two numbers. This product will always be a common multiple, because the product of the multiples must necessarily have the two numbers as factors. However, this will not always be the least common multiple. Sometimes there is a smaller common multiple. Take 69. 6 times 9 equals 54. But if we write out the multiples for each number, we find that already at 18, we find the least common multiple. So when looking at smaller numbers, it is a good idea to write out the multiples to find the right answer. So what is one application of this concept? Well, we learned about fractions, and sometimes we may want to know which of the fractions are larger, which can be difficult if they have different numbers in the denominator. Take 1/3 and 1/4 for example. You may know that 1/3 is larger than 1/4, but this becomes even more obvious if we alter these fractions to have the same denominator. And we do this by finding the least common multiple. For 3 and 4, that's 12. So what do we need to do to get 12 on the denominator for both fractions? For 1/3, we can multiply both top and bottom by 4. If we do this, we are not altering the magnitude of the fraction. Now we have 4/12. For 1/4, we can multiply by 3/3, giving us 3/12. Now that they have the same denominator, it is easy to see that 4 is bigger than 3. Although it was already obvious in this instance, we can use this technique for much trickier fractions. Alright guys, that was the concept for least common multiples. In the next video, we'll talk about greatest common factors. See you there.